Dayaram Guddu Mal, Sindh. The famous social worker and jurist of India, Dayaram Guddu Mal, was born on the 30th of June, 1857, in the house of Munshi Guddu Mal of Hyderabad Sindh, who was also a very generous man. His grandfather, Munshi Megraj, was a druggist for Shah Bahari, who was the general of the Kalhoras in Kanka Pargana. Due to his closeness to Shah Bahari, his family was called Shahani. Dayaram received his first lesson of education from the school of Akhund Nur Muhammad. He learnt Persian at the age of 10. After receiving his primary education from Sindh, he matriculated from Bombay, passed the BA and LB examinations with privileged marks. A teacher and a student studying at Elphinstone College were very fond of him because of his abilities. After graduation, he first entered the service as a second clerk. Later, he was appointed a judge of the Petty Courts of India. Before that, he was also a registrar in the President's Court, Karachi, and a member of the Bombay Civil Service. In 1911, he was promoted to District Sessions Judge, after which he was offered to join the bench of the Bombay High Court, but he did not accept it. He proved to be a capable and impartial social worker and an exemplary man of his time. Dayaram Guddu Mal was concerned about the failure of education and was trying to make Sindhis the forefront in the field of education. In this regard, he published a newspaper called Sindh Times around 1884, in which he wrote about educational progress and social reforms. Dewan Dayaram wrote a memorandum titled College Education and Its Effects and a request to establish an arts college in Sindh in 1885 for the establishment of Bombay, Madras and Bengal presidencies. Sent in this memorandum letter/book, he explained, the educational and social situation of that time illustrated the importance of college education with examples similar to the project of the Arts College in Sindh. The text/Sindhi translation of this chapter has also been published in the research journal of the Sindhi Language Authority, Sindhi Language Authority, Sindhi Language. In relation to the education of girls in Sindh, 6 girls' schools were established in different areas, along with Diwan Nora and Diwan Sajaram, and vocational centres were established for poor artisans. Diwan Dayaram used to spend a large part of his salary on welfare works. He established a trust in the name of his brother Diwan Mitha Ram, under which scholarships, uniforms and school assistance were given to students. Girls' School, Sadhu Ashram, Hyderabad, Karachi Central Library, Gasht Homeopathic Hospital, Dharampur JT. He also established orphanages at B Sanatorium, Shanti Ashram in Amritsar and some other places. DY Sindh College is the fruit of his services. Dayaram Guddu Mal established a Garib Bank to help the poor and create awareness about saving. He established a provider and death fund for wedding and food expenses. He left to serve plague patients for 3 months and did a great job of eliminating this contagious disease by hiring 4 doctors and 16 nurses at his own expense. As a judge, Dayaram was far from a scoundrel, but 3 cases became more famous. One was that of a Hindu Seth Milders of Shikarpur who had molested a woman. Dayaram heard the case because the local Hindus believed that judges would protect the Hindu community and rule in their favour. But Dayaram ordered the Seth to be taped to 7 years of hard labour. The second case was that of Hazrat Darwish, who was accused of murder. Expressing his surprise at this, Dayaram wrote in his remarks, "There are so many Darwishes in Sindh that if all are allowed to kill like this, there will be no such thing as Adam." And then Hazrat Darwish was sentenced to life imprisonment. The third unusual case, which became famous throughout India, was the plot of a mosque in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. When Dayaram was appointed district judge there, he heard the case for 12 consecutive days and ruled in favour of the mosque and ordered the return of the land. To keep this decision memorable for a long time, he wrote this decision on cloth instead of paper. When the Viceroy of India, Lord Curzon, met Dayaram, he congratulated him and said, "Fazil Judge, we know your abilities, that is why we respect you." Dewan Dayaram had access to different languages. He studied Persian, English and Sindhi in schools at a young age, but he learnt Sanskrit so that he could read and understand the Gita in its original language. Then he translated the Srimad Bhagavad Gita into Sindhi. He also had a good knowledge of Arabic. It is said that he read and understood the Holy Quran without translation and learnt Hebrew to read the Bible. He was also fond of Gujarati and Armenian. When he was appointed as assistant collector between 1885 and 1886, the then commissioner assigned him the task of compiling the records of the landowners of Sindh, through which he studied the entire revenue system. Sindh wrote Dayaram Guddu Mal also distinguished himself as an excellent writer. He took a 3-month leave around 1881 and visited the corners of Sindh, and then wrote a book on Shah Latif, Qalandar Shahbaz and Ajiri Lal, which is written about these three beings. He, along with Sadhu Hiranand, T.L. Vaswani and Hassan Ali Effendi, founded the Sindh Sabha organization, from which he published the newspaper Sindh Times and appointed Sadhu Hiranand as its editor. But after some time, Hiranand's death angered him, and then he wrote a book on his personality and biography, Sadhu Hiranand, A Humble Soul. His other books include 1. Something About Sindh, 2. Jap Sahib, 1891, 3. Sri Bhagavad Gita, 1893, 4. Sri Yog Darshan, 1903, 4. Gita Jo Safar, 5. Kabir's Attitude, 6. History of Alienation from the Land in Sindh, 7. Mother and Daughter, 1906, 3rd edition, 8. Lob Ka Mahatma, 3rd edition, 1923, 9. Manja, 10. Rahan, 11. Neil de Monte, 1929, and others. Dayaram Guddu Mal was also a great admirer of Mirza Khalid Beg. In 1906, he wrote to him and said, "I am trying to devote my free time to work, but you have taken away from everyone. You live too much for yourself and my country. I will keep it." Although Dayaram was called to Danidar earlier, he made a living promise and sent him more than 1.5 million for the publication of Mirza Khalid Beg's books, which Mirza Sahib also mentioned in his autobiography, Salpan Karupanu. This amount would be more than 1 crore rupees today. Dayaram Guddu Mal registered Dewan Mitha Ram Damo Trust in the name of his brother 7 years before his retirement, writing about it something like this: "I am a slave to slaves. I know the trust of earned and inherited capital as amanat, and I have no trust in anyone's life. I declare all my property as a charity trust. People and avatars should be taken care of. Aid should be extended in view of the scientific famine, and the serving institutions should be helped." He was also the president of the Vernacular Literature Committee, Municipality and Khalik Diva Hall, and the chairman of the Ashram for Leprosy Patients. Dewan Dayaram married a young girl at the age of 56. After many years, it was found that she was a troubled woman. Dewan Sahib did this to save his honor and life. This exemplary society of Sindh, India and the subcontinent was reciting the Guru Granth on the 7th of December 1927. A book has been published about his life, Raj Rishi Dayaram Guddu Mal Jojivan Charitra, which has been published by many people,